Well, it's been another big week in the media in the US. And to join us from the US is Katie Dixon to give us news on where Tucker Carlson could potentially land. Good morning or good afternoon, Katie Dixon.
Hi, Ben. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. So Tucker has a new job, doesn't have a new job. What's he going to do?
Well, yes, it's been about a week and a half since the news broke that he's no longer with Fox. And, there's been all kinds of stories on why he was let go. A lot to do with the Dominion lawsuit is what people were saying. There was other reports that an ex-producer of Fox filed a lawsuit as well. So there's all kinds of rumors getting around and whatnot. And everyone's been talking about waiting for the announcement of what he's going to do next. And there's also been the talk of that he's still under contract with Fox as well. So this week, though, he did get on online and put a little video out and basically said that he's going to be bringing a new version of his show to Twitter and use that platform. And that, of course, Twitter is owned by Elon Musk, who was one of the potential people he could have partnered with and whatnot. And Musk has now come out and kind of responded and kind of downplayed the announcement, basically stating that he will, that Tucker will basically just be like anyone else on Twitter, and that he will make money based on they're changing Twitter to be a revenue generating platform, and that he can make money on Twitter no differently to how you or I could as well. If there's anything else behind that, we're not sure. But certainly interesting. We might still have a big network. I don't know if Tucker wants to, control this all by himself. But what's interesting is just yesterday, they filed a lawsuit. Tucker Carlson has filed a lawsuit against Fox as well, which comes back to the non-compete that everyone was talking about. And so this is where it kind of gets interesting, because that non-compete stopped him from doing anything until 2025. And when you think about that, that is after the election. That is after a new president is elected. So, why are they trying to keep him from voicing his opinions until after the election?
There's so much in there, isn't there?
Yeah,
where do you start, Katie? I mean, it's just amazing how much there is in there.
Right, we've talked about this before too, because obviously he's very vocal. He's a conservative. He, exposes things. We've seen video from the Capitol riot, and these are big players in the game that are giving him this information, and he was putting it out there. And so it begs the question, are they worried that he's going to release something before the presidential election? It makes sense if that's when his non-compete goes to, which they're holding him to right now at that point. So it's quite interesting. I mean, obviously Fox will still pay him through 2025, but
oh wow,
he's
okay.
going to
Wow, I didn't know. I didn't realize he was still getting paid by Fox as well. Was that part of the deal?
Yeah, so I've read reports that say Fox would still pay him, but obviously he could make a lot of money somewhere else. His intention might not even be to make money somewhere else. It might be to, just get information out there that the American people need. So they've filed this lawsuit back at Fox, after making the announcement that he's going to be bringing a new version of his show. His contract runs until January 2025. And Fox does want to keep paying him, which we just kind of talked about, and that would prevent him from starting his own show. Right. So I kind of got, the breakdown of it and what's going on. The letter from Carlson's lawyer, basically it says that Fox employees, including Rupert Murdoch himself, broke promises to Carlson intentionally and with reckless regard for the truth. So they're saying that they're accusing Fox executives of making material representations or promises to Carlson that were intentionally broken, which would constitute fraud. So, that's one part of it. And this is all obviously to get him out of his contract, I would say. Multiple outlets are reporting that Carlson's redacted communications from pre-trial discovery documents and have suggested that they led to his ousting with the Dominion stuff like that. So I think that he is trying to indicate he was done wrong in that lawsuit. I've seen reports that say that, you know, he was supposed to not be the fall guy in a sense, and was supposed to kind of be left out of it. And obviously now everyone's saying that it's his fault. That's why they had to pay the $700 million. So it's very interesting, the breakdown of it and what they're accusing Fox of as well. Obviously, Fox is saying that it's false, but it's now that this case is actually open, you know, they're going to be getting everything subpoenaed, phone records, text messages, emails, things like that. So basically, you know, what we're watching for now at this point is, you know, what's going to come out, what are the Fox's immediate steps going to be to preserve all existing documents and data relevant to this case and whatnot. And that includes obviously the correspondence, including Rupert Murdoch as well, which we've talked about.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, you look at what, you know, somebody like Zelensky did with Ukraine. I mean, Zelensky gets elected basically because of this whole social media narrative that he created, or they created, and it you know, and it made, you know, huge inroads into Ukrainian politics. And you wonder if Carlson and Musk have sort of put their heads together and are going to go, we can pretty much do this on our own. I mean, you would think that Carlson can probably generate revenue, you know, via people advertising, or, you know, I'm sure there are a long line of people wanting to, you know, to support him financially. But, you know, with Musk's take on what freedom of speech is and Twitter and Carlson, you think, I mean, maybe you just don't need a network involved. You know, maybe they can just, you know, it potentially doesn't cost Musk anything, but
it'll make Musk money.
Correct. Yeah. So, I mean, Musk is, you know, eccentric and a genius. So maybe he's got it right with this.
Absolutely. If it's a pay-per-view type deal, you know, Musk is making money off it and doesn't, and kind of in a sense keeps his hands clean, although he himself is not one to worry about who he upsets either. But what's interesting is we haven't heard anything of whether there was a buyout in that non-compete either. Typically there can be buyouts, even in, you know, a small town like this where I'm from. A lot of the radio stations around here have non-compete, and the buyout might just be $1,000 or whatnot. And, you know, there's the discussions if you're going to poach another DJ, even just in this small town, and they're like, well, you got to pay my buyout if they decide to come after me. Is there a buyout for Tucker? What is that figure? And I'm sure someone would pay it. So if there is a buyout, why aren't we talking about it? If there's not a buyout, why wasn't there one?
Yeah, and you know, and Musk being, you know, one of the richest people in the world, you know, money's not really going to be an issue. It's like, you know, and the whole, you know, keep on making money, not really getting involved, but then being part of this whole, you know, freedom of speech thing is very interesting about what the future holds for all of it.
Anyway. And then it's a question of how long are they going to drag this out?
And when does it start? Like, you think the lawyers could probably keep it in court for, you know, as long as they wanted. Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Katie, I think we've got lots to talk about next time as well.
Absolutely. I'm sure there'll be lots next week to talk about.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're so welcome, Ben. Thank you.